Hey, it's Alan from Host Digital, and this is the first video of a short video mini-series I'm putting together starting today to walk you through a few best practices and usability principles with relation to conversion rate optimization and e-commerce websites. And really, this is just based on what I'm seeing out there in the wild at the moment, working with my clients. A few quick wins and easy tweaks to make to websites to increase the conversion rates and maximize website revenues. So I've got about two or three examples I'm going to critique just now on my screen share to help illustrate what I'm seeing and where you can find some easy improvements to make to the site. And in each of these videos, as I say, there might be 4 or 5. We'll see how I go with this one. I'm going to focus on one core area. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to focus on product list pages. So I can draw your attention to my screen. This is a great example of a product list page. I'm not going to critique ASOS specifically, but I just want to show it and offer it to you as an example of a product list page. Typical product list page, this is an example of activewear, and it's actually giving me the product search results related to activewear on the ASOS website. So there's nothing too untoward happening here. It's just a typical example of a product list page. Why a product list page is so important? Well, especially if a lot of products, especially if you have a large product inventory, you want to be able to present the user with an easy way of finding products and also encourage exploration. And one key tip here, a really, really important part of that is filtering. So I'm going to talk a lot about filtering with relation to product list pages in just a moment. So here's another typical product list page. This time it's John Lewis. And here I've got an applied filter, I think, for 47 to 50 inch TV screens. And again, typical, I've got the reviews, I've got the prices, I've got the product images, and I can click through to go through to each individual product detail page. So as I said, I've got some examples of do's and don'ts here and some best practices. And here's the first one. This is with demontweeks.com. So they sell wheels, they sell motorsport vehicles, components, that sort of thing. A really, really big retailer here in the UK. And as is typical with a lot of product search results pages or product list pages, I should say, they're showing how many items they've got in this product results. They've got the sort criteria here, price, best selling, that sort of thing. But where they're starting to perhaps do things a little suboptimally is here on the left-hand side with the filter navigation. So what you'll notice as I scroll down the screen is there is an awful lot of filtering options available to the user. I'm not saying that not all of these filtering options have a place, but rather than asking the user to scroll all the way down, all the way back up the page, trying to find all the different filter options that's relevant to their search, what might be more useful is actually collapsing all of the options that they have so that instead of having them pre-expanded, they're collapsed. So the user can just quickly see what are the options at a glance available to them. And if it becomes something that they want to click on, they can click to expand those options and then select. Okay, so that's one key takeaway here for this particular page. I'm going somewhere with this because on the very next page, this one is with ladies boots for June, the June London group. And in this example, they've done the opposite. They've actually deployed a stalker module here. Let me just get myself out of the way so I don't block. So they've actually deployed a stalker module. So as I scroll down, the filter options stay in view. Now, this is a really good best practice, but they might have gone too far in the other direction in this example. And when I say might have, everything I say here has to be caveated with the fact that it's worth user testing, asking your users, doing surveys, and ultimately potentially A/B testing just to make sure you're making the right judgment call. But I'm just giving you some food for thought here, just arming you with some ideas. And in this example, as I scroll down the page, the filter options stay with me, which is a great thing because I can see at a glance what I can filter by. But I'm guessing, and again, I don't look from the outside looking in, but I'm guessing here that everyone's really going to want to filter by size, right? If I'm buying for myself, I want to filter by size. So there's really no reason to keep the size filter option collapsed on page load. It really should be expanded on page load because I'm really going to want to click on one or two of these regardless. It doesn't matter who I am. And I might even take that idea one step further and put promoted filters at the top of the page. Now, what's a promoted filter? Promoted filter is where I have a button here at the top, maybe 3 or 4, just outlined here at the top, where I can just click on, for example, different sizes. So that rather than having to go down to the left-hand filter options, I've got something that's promoted at the top, is a bit more visible, is a bit more usable and intuitive to use. That's really going to help my shopping experience. Okay, so really think about what are the top used filter options for your product list page. Should you promote some of them to the top of the page so that users can easily find them and navigate? Or can you think about maybe deprioritizing some of them and collapsing them, putting them further down the list. So most retailers I work with haven't really thought much about the prioritization and the popularity of different filter options. They're just kind of crammed in there all together. But really thinking about who should be collapsed, who should be expanded, who should be at the top, who should be at the bottom can really help for a smoother shopping experience. Okay. One more point here with relation to product list pages, because quick view is extremely popular and continues to gather at pace. I see it more and more in retail websites these days. And it has its pitfalls. It's a super cool feature to have. There are pros and cons. So one of the pros is that in theory, and I say in theory, it presents the user with additional information they don't have on the product list page. So they can just click on quick view to pop up that information rather than having to go all the way to the product detail page to find that information. Okay, so that's the theory. That's the reason so many websites are using quick view. The problem that can occur sometimes is that some users mistake the quick view option for the actual product detail page. So they never actually navigate to the product. Whoa, I'm running out of battery. I'll remember that for next time I shoot the video. So the problem we've got is that a lot of users never go to the product detail page because they think this is the product detail page. That's number one. So they're missing out on, for example, all that great review information you have, or information about delivery and returns and all the rest of it. It's not displayed here on the quick view. So that's number one. Another one is that whether it actually adds any further detail to what is already on the product search results page. Is it just adding a bit of friction, another option for the user to click on, and distracting from the core user path to purchase, which is actually just to get them to the product detail page? What would happen if all these quick views were taken away? What would happen to the conversion rate? Would they actually get more people to the product detail page and more people to click on the add to cart button? Can you bump up those two KPIs, product detail page views and add to cart button click rates? If you can bump up those two KPIs by removing quick view, then of course it makes perfect sense to do so. And this is the kind of thing I consider doing as part of an A/B test. This next comment I'm going to make doesn't apply to nice clothing specifically, but I'm going to say it anyway. Quick view can be really useful to help show an image in a larger capacity, right? So when I click on one of these, it's showing me a larger image. That's a really, really good thing. However, I would probably argue for this particular site that the images are large enough already. So sometimes quick view can be used to kind of enhance usability problems that already exist on the page. But I shouldn't say that this particular page has any usability pages that need to be resolved by quick view. So potentially, and again, I have to caveat, anything I say should probably be A, stress tested with the user, get some voice of customer insight, and B, it should be A/B tested. But again, here's my opinion. I should say that, and I'm going to need to wrap up quickly because my battery's running out. I should say that the quick view option here could probably be removed without detracting from the core user experience, and potentially removing it could increase the conversion rate. Okay, I hope you like this video. I'm going to wrap up because I'm running out of battery. If you like this video, hit me a like, hit me a comment below here on LinkedIn. Let me know what you'd like to see next as part of the mini series. I've really enjoyed putting this video together for you. And if any of this really resonated with you, and you have an e-commerce website and you'd like to talk about conversion rate optimization and how you can get more of your website visitors to purchase, hit me up as well. Just send me a direct message on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to chat further. Take care.